This time on Auto Mundial, the weekly car news and review show, we take a look at the fabulous all-new Mercedes SL.
We also have the Mazda MX-30, a quirky little EV taking on the Kia Soul, plus a commercial version of the new Defender.
And we also have the latest from Hyundai's N division and a race-ready pickup truck from Chevrolet. That's all coming up. First though, the news.
The first V8-powered Jeep Wrangler has arrived in the UK. The Wrangler Rubicon 392 is Jeep's high-performance answer to the Defender V8 and Ford Bronco, but Jeep has not announced plans to bring it over to Europe officially. Now though, an independent dealer in London is offering British buyers the chance to get the most powerful Wrangler ever made. With a 6.4-litre Hemi motor from a Dodge Challenger, it can do the 0-60 sprint in 4.5 seconds, while retaining all of the Jeep's off-road ability. However, at more than twice the price of a standard Wrangler, the six-figure left-hand drive Jeep won't be for everyone.
The Chevrolet Silverado isn't exactly well known for its high-performance credentials. It's a big practical truck for big practical Americans. It's not the sort of thing then that you imagine going racing, at least until now. This is the Silverado ZR2 race truck, a motorsport-ready version of the new ZR2 that Chevrolet hopes will worry the Ford F-150 Raptor. As the old saying goes, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. And to that end, Chevy's unlikely new racer already has competed in 10 different off-road races in prototype form as part of the production truck's development. This means customers can buy an everyday pickup truck that's been honed on some of the toughest events in North America. According to Chevrolet, its philosophy is sell what you race and race what you sell. And to that end, the race truck shares almost all of its chassis and powertrain components with the customer version. That includes the 6.2-litre V8 motor producing 420 horsepower, the robust ladder frame chassis, 10-speed autobox, transfer case, front and rear diffs and the accompanying skid plates. They also share the same incredibly advanced off-road suspension technology. Anyone who buys a new Silverado ZR2 really does have a race truck for the road.
Since Hyundai launched its N division a few years ago, we've seen some truly brilliant performance cars from the brand that previously had little experience of building fast cars. With N badges now adorning everything from super minis to SUVs, the next car to get a performance makeover is this, the Elantra. With the saloon car market here in Europe dwindling, the new Elantra N arrives for the North American market, which already gets the excellent Veloster Coupe. Commonly used by ride-hailing services, the regular Elantra is a common sight throughout America, so the N version has had a sporty makeover to help it stand out. It gets an aggressive new front splitter, a big rear diffuser housing a chunky pair of tailpipes and plenty of red trim. A rear spoiler has been added, while a set of 19-inch alloys shod in Michelin Pilot Sport 4s complete the look. The interior has been spruced up too, with new track-focused features on the infotainment system, new bucket seats, and a nice new steering wheel with drive mode buttons to unleash the Elantra's full potential. It's under the bonnet though where things really get interesting. It gets the same turbocharged 2-litre engine as the i30N, producing 276 brake horsepower, or 286 for short 10-second bursts if you press the right buttons. 0 to 62 miles per hour takes just 5.3 seconds, topping out at 155. To keep all that power under control, the Elantra N gets an electronic limited slip diff, as well as some big brakes and trick suspension.
However, if you want an affordable, fast saloon car, there's a new version of the obvious choice. The Subaru WRX may have been absent on UK shores for a few years now, but over in America, the familiar recipe of big power and all-wheel drive is still going strong. This is the new 2022 car, due to go on sale early next year. On the face of it, nothing seems to have changed too drastically. It's still not especially good looking, particularly when compared to the striking Elantra, but it has a muscular look thanks to its bold wheel arches and signature bonnet scoop. However, Subaru has always put substance over style, so it's what's underneath that really counts. As always, the new WRX features a turbocharged boxer engine, with displacement now up from 2 litres to 2.4. Power is up at 267 brake horsepower, and best of all, it's all hooked up to a manual 6-speed gearbox.
Frankly, it's a shame that we won't be seeing the Elantra N here in Europe anytime soon. It looks superb, goes well, and would no doubt be a great cut-price alternative to the numerous fast Audis, BMWs and Mercs.
The Land Rover Defender has been with us for a while now, and in that time it's fair to say that it's grown on us rather a lot. At its reveal in 2019 at the Frankfurt Motor Show, we weren't quite convinced by the styling or indeed the price point. But its impressive off-road and on-road ability are impossible to argue with. And now the brand is somewhat tackling our main concern, the price. This is the new Defender hardtop, Land Rover's nomenclature for its commercial versions. Ditching the back seats in favour of more cargo space, the Defender 90 hardtop is the cheapest way to get behind the wheel of the best 4x4 by far. Prices start at just over £38,000 before taxes, and for that you get a short wheelbase go-anywhere van, complete with steel wheels and 1,355 litres of space in the back. In addition to that, buyers also get a 58-litre underfloor lockable storage box and a bulkhead separating your load from the cabin. Couple all of that to the 3.5-ton towing capacity, and you have a vehicle that might once again appeal to the builders, landscapers and farmers who bought the old one. One particular feature that we absolutely love is the advanced tow assist system that allows the driver to effectively steer the trailer with a rotary dial on the centre console.
And it isn't just the short wheelbase 90 that gets the hardtop treatment. Those after more cargo capacity can opt for the 110 version with 2,059 litres of boot space and a bigger underfloor area. Unlike the old commercial 110s, the rear doors remain in place, remedying the old model's lack of side access. 110 hardtops start at under £45,000 and are available with a pair of powertrain options. Entry-level trucks get a 246 brake horsepower 6-cylinder diesel, with top-spec D300 models getting 296 horsepower, making it good for 0 to 62 in 7 seconds. Both versions also come with a mild hybrid system for improved performance and economy. The key selling point for any Land Rover, though, is its off-road ability. And the Defender hardtop is every bit as capable as its civilian sibling. It comes with the same terrain response modes, which can automatically calculate the type of ground you're driving on and calibrate the settings accordingly. There's also a wading program that closes the air vents and keeps the brakes lightly engaged to protect the discs and pads. The departure angles are almost as good as the old cars, while the maximum wading depth has been increased to a deeply impressive 900mm, almost double the old Defenders. Both 90 and 110 models come with independent coil-sprung suspension, with the 110 available with optional air suspension.
Inside, all Defenders are available with 3 seats in the front and Land Rover's Clear Sight rear-view mirror, which shows images from the rear-view camera on the rear-view mirror to enable easier reversing, especially if you have a full cargo area. On the road, the new Defender is worlds away from the old one. It actually has space for your elbows, and the ride won't have you booking appointments at your local chiropractor. A commercial version of the Discovery is also available for those who do want a little extra luxury, but the new 90 and 110 hardtops may well be the Defenders to go for.
After the break, Mazda's stylish new EV and the return of the Mercedes SL. Coming up, the new AMG-tuned Mercedes SL, but first...
With just about every manufacturer now getting on board with electric cars, Mazda has released its all-new EV offering. Called the MX-30, it's a stylish little coupe crossover designed to stand out from the crowd. It's a great-looking car, in keeping with Mazda's increasingly premium image. Essentially an electric alternative to the excellent CX-30, the MX-30 is an intriguing EV debut in a segment that's quickly becoming very competitive. The styling will of course be a big draw to buyers, and it needs to be, as the quirky little Mazda gets a range of just 124 miles. In a class of Hyundai Konas and Kia e-Niros that'll happily achieve well over 250 miles on a charge, that simply isn't good enough for buyers who cover big distances or don't have the luxury of charging every night. It's likely to be a second car then, and that's fine for city cars like the new electric Fiat 500 and the Honda E, but it seems odd that Mazda would release a practical family car with a significantly lower range than a Renault Zoe. If you can look past the range though, the MX-30 is a genuinely compelling car, and not just because of the way it looks. It's full of interesting details like the back doors that open the wrong way, like an RX-8, to create a pillarless opening, and the use of environmentally friendly materials in its construction. The Mazda's party piece though is its interior. Following the brand's Kodo design philosophy, it's simple, beautiful and functional. Mazda's cabins are up there with the best right now, and the MX-30 is no exception. The centre console is lined with cork, a reference to Mazda's origins as a cork company, while many of the fabrics are made from recycled bottles. It gets the usual array of gizmos and gadgets, including an impressive array of safety tech to keep you pointing in the right direction. Powering the MX-30 is Mazda's new e-Skyactiv powertrain. 143 brake horsepower drives the front wheels only, for a 0-62 time of 9.7 seconds, onto a top speed of just 87 miles per hour. It's quick enough to charge though, with a 40 kilowatt DC rapid charger, getting the 35.5 kilowatt hour battery from 10 to 80% in under 40 minutes.
So what else is out there? Well, if you fancy a quirky little electric crossover, the Kia Soul remains our class favourite. It's powered by a 64 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery that it shares with the e-Niro and Hyundai Kona Electric, which is good enough for an impressive range of 280 miles. This is no second car. With a range like that, you really can use it every day. It's quick to charge too, with a 100 kilowatt charger getting it to 80% from empty in under an hour. Inside, the Soul is very spacious, which is unsurprising given its cuboid shape, but the boot is a little bit of a letdown. With just over 300 litres of space, it has a smaller compartment than the Mazda.
If you can do without the style of the Mazda or the sense of fun of the Kia, this, the MG ZS EV, might well be one of the best value electric cars on sale. For 28.5 grand after the government grant, the MG offers 273 miles of range in a practical SUV. It may not be quite as trendy as the other two, but modern MGs aren't as unlovable as they were a few years ago.
As much as we like the Mazda then, it really does seem that it's a purchase you'd need to make with your heart rather than your head. Its range does let it down, but if you only do short journeys in your car and you have a charger at home, the MX-30 is a fantastic way of getting about.
In the automotive world, there are various cars that have spanned multiple decades to achieve iconic status. Cars like the Mini, the Range Rover, the Ford Mustang, and this, the Mercedes SL. In production in some form or another since the 1950s, we were dismayed to hear that production was pausing last year. Now though, just in time for 2022, there's a new one. Officially known as the Mercedes-AMG SL, the new SL looks set to be the sportiest iteration yet, thanks to some input from Ep50. Both Mercedes and AMG, though, are keen to point out that this is still a luxurious Grand Tourer, just one that happens to have been fettled to produce 577 brake horsepower in top-spec SL63 trim. 0 to 62 miles per hour is dealt with in just 3.6 seconds with a top speed of 195. If you don't think you need quite so much performance, from launch, your other option is the detuned SL55. It uses the same 4-litre V8 as the 63, this time producing a slightly less hectic 469 brake horsepower. Despite having over 100 fewer ponies to play with, it still reaches 62 from rest in under 4 seconds and tops out at 183. Both versions use Mercedes' 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, a first for the SL, but with rivals like the Jaguar F-Type and Porsche 911 both offering it, it comes as no great surprise. In the future, Mercedes has confirmed that there will be a plug-in hybrid option available alongside the two V8 models. We're sure we can make do with the big AMGs for now. Mercedes says that the SL's new sporting character was inspired by the original 300 SL of 1954, one of the brand's most famous cars and one with an incredible motorsports legacy. The styling has clearly been influenced by the outgoing AMG GT, but to our eye, that's certainly no bad thing. The SL looks as elegant as ever with a Pan America grille and slim, sharp headlights. At the back, the sculpted body tapers to a rounded rear end with 4 aggressive tailpipes to remind you this is very much an AMG-tuned car. Fold back the fabric roof and you reveal the opulent 2+2 cabin. This is the first time the SL has had a second pair of seats since the 90s, but the back row is virtually useless for anything but luggage. Up front, you get some body-hugging sports seats and an enormous infotainment system with all the latest tech from the new S-Class.
But how does it compare to this, the beautiful Jaguar F-Type? After a recent facelift, it looks better than ever and is available with a terrific range of engines. Its 5-litre supercharged V8 is available with either 444 or 567 brake horsepower, and you get all-wheel drive, although driving purists can still choose to have all the power sent to the rear wheels. The top-spec Jag, the P575, will hit 62 from rest in 3.7 seconds, with an accompaniment of raucous V8 thunder. It's an extremely characterful car and one that turns heads wherever it goes.
With Mercedes pitching the new SL as a sports car, the Jag is the car it needs to beat. We'll find out if it can when it goes on sale next year.
Join us again next week on Auto Mundial as we look back at some of our favourite cars from the past 12 months.